Telecom is to the United Kingdom what FCC is to America. Charged with regulating the TV and radio sectors, fixed-line telecoms, postal services, and wireless phones, and their airwaves, Ofcom has the power to fine or restrict broadcast content. And that's exactly what they have done in the case of the program Radio Asia Fever, based on Leeds, West Yorkshire, England, because of comments made by the station's on-air personality, Sister Ruby. Speaking in Urdu in her Sister Ruby persona, presenter Rubina Nasir caused an uproar with comments she made criticizing homosexuality. According to a translation provided by Ofcom, Sister Ruby said, "Rebuke them, beat them, humiliate them, admonish and curse them, and beat them up." In a separate segment of the same broadcast, she spoke of interfaith marriage, and using a pejorative for those who do not follow Islam, she said, "We are saying that mukras have no concept of cleanliness and uncleanliness." Ofcom's official statement on the incident concluded that the content of the program broadcast on 17 August 2011 included two statements which Ofcom considered were likely to encourage or to incite the commission of crime against homosexuals and were likely to encourage others to copy unacceptable behaviors towards homosexuals. This was the fear from the very beginning, that you were going to be trading an autocrat for a theocrat. Such was the sentiment expressed by the director of the Arab Politics Program at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy, David Shikher. The statement was made in reaction to the news that Egyptian President Mohamed Mursi had placed his orders above judicial review. In his defense, Mursi argued that the move was necessary to give him the power to extend the deadline on the writing of a new constitution. The process had been deadlocked by a committee which Egyptian Christians and minority Muslims claimed had been hijacked by the Islamic Brotherhood. The move may have actually worked, as a new constitution was completed a few days later on November 30th. The current constitution vacuum in Egypt can only be resolved by the adoption of a constitution that includes checks and balances and respects fundamental freedoms, individual rights, and the rule of law, said U.S. State Department spokeswoman Victoria Nuland. The first lunar month of the Islamic calendar is one of the most holy times in the religion. Known as Muharram, it is forbidden to fight during this month. Apparently, however, for some members of the Taliban in Pakistan, it is not forbidden to blow oneself to bits in the midst of a process of Shiites celebrating the beginning of the period. A suicide bomber near Islamabad killed himself, 23 celebrants, and wounded 62 others, including children and policemen, at around midnight in the city of Rawalpindi. One of the injured, Nasir Shah, said, "It was like the world was ending." Ashunallah Asha, a spokesperson for the Taliban in Pakistan, accepted responsibility for the attack and also took credit for a bomb detonated near a Shiite mosque earlier in the day, which killed one person and wounded 15 others. Said Asha, "We have a war of belief with Shiites. They are blasphemers. We will continue attacking them." He used to be the Reverend Roy Borges, Catholic priest and member of the Mary Knowles Brotherhood. Now he's just Roy, a 73-year-old man who has to go home to Louisiana and tell his father that in addition to his excommunication and defrocking, he's also been kicked out of his missionary order. The Vietnam War veteran and longtime social justice advocate lost his positions due to his participation in the August 2008 ordination of Janice Servey Dukes in Lexington, Kentucky, Unitarian Universalist Church. The ceremony was held as part of a protest movement known as Roman Catholic Woman Priests. Immediately after, Lexington Bishop Ronald Gaynor declared the ordination invalid, and the Vatican wrote Burgess to inform him of his excommunication. But other punishments, such as the defrocking and the recent expulsion from the Mary Knowles, came slower as the Catholic Church offered former Reverend Burgess the opportunity to recant. "To recant would have been to betray my conscience," said Burgess. "The Vatican and Mary Knowles can dismiss me, but they cannot dismiss the issue of gender equality in the Catholic Church. The FBI has arrested 4 American men and charged them with intent to commit violent jihad. Described as wannabe terrorists by the Bureau, the young men had planned to travel to Afghanistan to join the al-Qaeda network. 2 of them, Miguel Santana and Ralph de Leon, had just recently converted to Islam after meeting Omar Kabir in an Ontario, California hookah bar. Kabir then traveled to Afghanistan, but continued to communicate via Skype and Facebook with the other 3 men. The 4th suspect, David Kahali, is an unemployed high school dropout and father of a baby girl who had moved out of his parents' house 2 months ago. All 3 suspects had been introduced by Kabir to the radical doctrine of extreme cleric Anwar al-Aswali, who was killed last year during a U.S. airstrike in Yemen. Agents working covertly for the FBI in dialogue with one of the suspects discovered their support of jihad and their desire to join the Taliban and al-Qaeda. The FBI's 77-page complaint paints a picture of eager men who are willing to kill for their belief. The Bureau's documents reveal that De Leon said that he thought about killing and wouldn't have a problem if it was for Allah. Santana is also quoted as saying, "The more I think about it, the more it excites me." According to Washington think tank Foundation for Defense of Democracies, the terror suspects were unlikely to be embraced by organized terror cells in Afghanistan. Senior fellow David Ross said that these guys would have gotten the cold shoulder had they gone over there. They're not really useful guys. They don't have the skill sets. Professor of Islamic Studies at the University of California, Riverside, Muhammad Ali, notes the susceptibility of new converts to radicalization and calls for imams to reach out. They cannot just say, Islam is a religion of peace and do nothing. They cannot deny it's happening, he said. If convicted, the 4 men could face up to 15 years in federal prison.